why he's the MVP. Gazy cooking.
Here he is, King Cotton on fire. He's having some sort of night.
The greatest importance to ever play in the NBL.
Here he is again, the MVP. Gets to the basket. Oh, goodness, Jalen Adams. What a play. Sunday afternoon at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, and it's always a big occasion when the league's very best player, Bryce Cotton, comes to town. The three-time MVP winner will go head-to-head with a man who's staking his claim as one of the best players in the competition right now in Jalen Adams. And as the Kings start to build a bit of momentum, this is a huge game at Kudos Bank Arena. Great to have your company. It's the Kings and the Wildcats. Big atmosphere, big venue, big afternoon coming your way. Jack Heaven alongside Derek Rucker and Brad Rosen. Another big game feel inside Kudos Bank Arena, but a really important game for both teams as well.
Well, we're getting used to this vibe, Jack, and this is an important game because, look, both teams have real claims on being a championship winner. And if you look at the ladder, both teams right now a chance with other results this week, a couple of mini upsets thrown in there, Jack. They can make claims to the top 2 or top 3 position, which I think is really important to Perth.
There is our Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Brad, Jalen Adams, we showed him off the top today. He's an MVP of this league from 2 seasons ago. We thought that he'd just settle back in. No, sir. He has absolutely hit the ground running.
Look, we knew he was going to be good, but the fact that he hadn't played a lot over the last 18 months, and we just thought, how will he be? Oh, he's just taken off from where he left. It's that where he's so good, getting into the seams, being able to create, pulling up on a dime, hitting the 3. There's just not anything in his game he can't do, and the poise is great.
And it's also the recognition and the awareness inside of the game to know when to make his mark. Friday night against Brisbane, they threw all types of looks at him, and he was able to get whatever he wanted, especially when the Sydney Kings needed it most.
So that matchup's going to be tantalising. 2 of the best players in the competition head-to-head. And there he is right in front of us, Bryce Cotton. On the other side of the equation, though, is 2 of the best young players in the competition. Next stars, Alex Sarr from the Perth Wildcats and Alex Tui from the Sydney Kings.
Yeah, well, you look at Alex Sarr, he's been phenomenal in what he's been able to do. But that man on Friday night, he was outstanding. Derek, you were in Brisbane with him, and there is not a thing he couldn't do. Inside, outside, you look at that, 7 of 8 in 22 minutes. Runs the lane. Wow, what a career this kid's going to have.
And I like the fact that he's so aggressive. He plays with a lot of basketball courage. It's great to have the skills, but the outstanding players actually go out there and make it happen. And there was no better evidence of it than right there, Jack. Andrew Gaze almost lost his mind on that play.
He's a very special talent, Alex Tui, as is Alex Sarr. What about the Perth Wildcats, Derek? Where are they at right now? They come in 2-2. They lost on Friday night to Melbourne by 7 points in a game that they had their chances.
They certainly did, Jack, and they've shown some signs defensively in that game that they can be a solid defensive team because up until that game, they had been leaky. They're a poor defensive rebounding team, and those are areas they need to fix right here, Brad, if they want to have a chance of a win here.
Well, speaking of Brad, you had the opportunity earlier to catch up with a benchmark, Bryce Cotton.
Bryce, tough loss the other night to United. What was said and need to be changed for tonight?
I mean, it would help if we make some of the open shots that we got. But at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to do most of the things well throughout the game, and sometimes you don't come out with the win. Melbourne was a great team, but now we're playing on the road, so we're going to have to basically match the energy that Sydney comes out with. I think that'll be the biggest thing.
Did you feel 88 points getting them defensively is where you want to be or more?
I mean, our target is usually to keep teams at 80 and below, but like I said, it was around the mark. There's a couple little kinks or some lapses we had on the defensive end that could have shaved off 8 points, but for the most part, I think we had a pretty good defensive game.
The Perth Wildcats in for a big Sunday afternoon. Here is their starting 5. Now, with no Christian Doolittle, who's out injured at the moment, it means that Jesse Wagstaff, at 37 years of age, Derek, and 2 DMPs in a row, will be starting today.
And I think that's a good move. Jesse needs some burn. He needs to get the bones moving, and sometimes sitting on the side and idling isn't the best at that age, Brad, as we both know.
Totally, I agree. Just the fact that he'll give him that poise, and we spoke to John Rillie about Doolittle. That's a big loss, and he'll give him something on the defensive end. He'll take that charge. He'll push the guys. He'll rebound, and he can hit that open three as well.
Sydney Kings starting 5, Adams, Galloway, Tui, Valentine and Hunter. Let's talk a little bit about Jalen Galloway here, Derek. And we speak so much about the next stars and their potential futures in the NBA. Jalen Galloway, at 20 years of age, leads the competition for steals and field goal percentage. His start to this season has been phenomenal.
It has, and he's probably exceeded my expectations already this season. He shoots the ball well too, Jack, which really opens things up for guys like Valentine and Adams. But we know that he's also getting early bump for most improved player from one of his bosses, Andrew Bogut.
It's the Kings and the Wildcats. Another big crowd at Kudos Bank Arena. Sunday afternoon in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Wildcats will be wearing their black away strip. The Kings in the purple as Cotton starts well.
Well, we asked if he meant business. That's him right there. Didn't shoot well on Friday night in Bryce Cotton land. Comes out and goes whack first play.
Here's Hunter underneath, misses. Just 1 of 6 from outside on Friday night. Brad, as you mentioned, Bryce Cotton looked a little frustrated. Things weren't happening for him. They were happening for him early on. And put back in by Pinder. 5-0 start in the first 40 seconds.
And with respect to that game out in Perth, Matthew Dellavedova did a really good job of trying to frustrate Bryce Cotton as Hunter gets a nice little pass inside and finishes well. But Dellavedova did a good job, and then the rest of the Melbourne United team were able to pile on to that defensive effort and really lock Bryce down, which is rare.
Wagstaff starting today.
And I think that's a great point that Derek makes, because not only if Delly's not on, then you got Shea, and they can just come in and keep throwing him, and they scored 81 points. It'll be interesting to see tonight who takes Bryce, and are they that physical with him like they were on Friday night.
Well, already, Jack, we can see how much of a high possession game this is going to be already. The Wildcats have taken 4 shots in 90 seconds, but can they play at that pace against this thoroughbred Sydney Kings team?
Well, we saw that on Friday, didn't we, Derek, with Brisbane? They tried to play at the same pace, and it came undone.
Bad decision.
Cotton draws contact. And be on the free throw line. Just heard Jordan Usher just next to us is the Perth Wildcats bench, and it's his first time playing at Kudos Bank Arena. He ran past and said to John Rillie, "You're going to have to talk louder, I can't hear you."
Well, what I was going to say, what I like what Perth are doing is Sydney renowned to switch everything, right? So they're switching, so they are looking for the mismatches. And in that time, we talked Cotton Island, Jordan Hunter had to go out, and he was able to take him off there. But not only that, they are getting pinned to be able to be switched on Jalen Adams as well. That's where John Rillie's coaching is smart.
But right here, guys, being down courtside, you can feel the energy coming from the Wildcats. They're determined. They're angry at what happened the other night, and they feel like they can get one here.
Wow, very good first quarter team as well, the Wildcats. This Tui lost the handle. Good hands by Pinder. Webster on the move. Shares with Usher.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Perth here. You said it, Derek. They come out. Look at their faces. It's stone. It is just stone cold. We are here, and we are going to stop this team at every onslaught. 2 points so far.
We go back inside to Hunter. That's been working for Sydney. Geordie Hunter, their only scorer so far. Look at how quickly Perth gets to the other end through Webster, though.
Too easy.
Fearless at the moment. Perth attacking the hoop. Obviously, getting your man off to a good start with an open 3 really provides confidence for the rest of the guys.
Galloway rims out. Hunter fouled by Wagstaff. 24. He'll be on the line shooting free throws. Mentioned Perth's first quarters. They averaged 27 points in first quarters so far, the Wildcats. They're #1 by a considerable margin. So they're having their patches in the middle of games, Derek, where they're going to sleep. But one thing they are doing is starting games well.
They are, and you see already off to an outstanding start. They're 5 of 6 from the field, and all 6 of those shots have been quality looks. The problem, though, is Geordie Hunter is getting good looks, and I'm not sure that Perth have anybody to go with him.
Yeah, they've brought Sar in, which my gut feeling will say he'll take Tui, and that'll allow Pinder to be a bit more physical with Hunter.
Averaging 12 points a game so far this season. Geordie Hunter playing starting minutes and relishing that opportunity. Jonah Bolden still coming off the bench for the Kings. So far for Sydney, that's working. Cotton for 3. Loose ball falls to the next star, Alex Tui. Now relocates to the corner. Cotton scraps after the ball. He's got runners alongside him.
And he'd be disappointed he wasn't able to provide the pass for Webster to finish there. John really talked about missed opportunities before the game with us. Situations just like that. 2-on-1s where professional players should be able to finish with a layup or a dunk.
Great point, and then you look at it, you lose by 7, 81, 88. Then those little things, we talk about the 1%ers playing for 40 minutes. That's what JR wants from his team tonight.
Bryce Cotton has 5. Geordie Hunter has all 6 points for Sydney so far. Galloway comes up with a steal. And Tui with the jam.
And that's the difference right there. Perth don't convert their 2v1, a sloppy possession, and then the Kings punish them on the other end in the exact same 2-on-1 situation, Jack.
They've got it back to 5, the difference, the Sydney Kings. Played their first home game of the season last Sunday against Adelaide. Pretty convincing win there. It's Pinder gets to work.
And that's what they got to do. If you're going to switch, take care of that switch. Slow down, let Pinder go to work. He was great on Friday night. And there's Jalen Adams again getting into the seams. But I loved what Pinder was able to do on Friday night. And you want to get him the ball.
Here's a Harvey Norman replay.
So good in the open court,
That's
like
that
you were
pace,
saying.
yeah.
It's just, and you just said there's a 4-point turnaround. You give up the layup one end like what you were saying, Derek, and then bang, they're off to the races.
Jalen Adams coming off another 20-point game. 3 of his 4 games so far this season. He's had 20 points or more. Hometown, certainly a hometown favourite now. He's a Maryland native, but Sydney Kings fans have adopted him as their own.
There's the danger of an emotional letdown from the Kings this Sunday night. We hear John really barking at the referees. He's right in front of us. It was a big win up in Brisbane, and they had to withstand a late onslaught. The Bulls put up 35 in the 4th against them, Brad. And this could be 2 bad quarters in a row defensively from the Kings, because the Wildcats are looking like they're going to get at least 27.
Still 6 minutes left in his first quarter. Usher finds a path to the basket. And again, Perth score from close range.
Well, they're just trying to find that mismatch, and Usher's first step was just too good.
Valentine at the other end couldn't score. A foul on Ty Webster.
What's the foul count?
Johnny's just asked me what the foul count is. Johnny, I'll tell you. The foul count is 3-1, buddy.
I just feel like I'm playing against West Sydney in the old days.
Are you his statistician?
Obviously. The familiarity, it goes a long way. A backcourt bond means a lot. Means a lot.
I'm just waiting for Gordy McLeod to come out and start talking.
Webster, Usher, I should say, the big block as Corey Webster gets set to check in. Cotton with the feet set.
Great pass. Look at Usher. Look at the aggression on him. That was a great pass, knowing I've got my man here. And Derek, you question it. Look at this. Not even 5 minutes of the quarter, 20 points, the Wildcats.
Well, the problem on top of that is, it'd be one thing if Bryce wasn't cooking, but he's sizzling right now.
Well, he never has 2 bad ones, let's be honest.
8 points to lead all scorers so far, Bryce Cotton. As Sydney go to their bench, Hunter and Valentine out, Kawat Noi And Angus Glover checking in.
Well, good to see Glover. We had a chat with him before the game, and he took a big hit in the ribs on Friday night and had the exact same injury as what he got in the grand final. Said hello to him. He's got a nice little, like a big pouch over that to make sure he doesn't get hit in there, but it's a lot of cushion. So let's see how he runs tonight.
We saw the numbers. Bryce Cotton averaging more against Sydney than any other team here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And he's got 9 already in the first quarter. Shot clock down to single figures for Adams. He takes a deflection.
Alex Sarr shows his defensive versatility there. Not a hard show, a medium type show. Then is able to get back, cut off the passing lane, but still provide enough confusion to the ball handler, Bryce Cotton, so that he wasn't able to finish, Jalen Adams, so he wasn't able to finish the play.
No Christian Doolittle this afternoon, so first quarter minutes for David Aquera, who's only played in 1 game so far this year. 6 minutes against South East Melbourne in round 1. Sydney's ball movement, exquisite.
And this is, sorry, Brad, this is where they get you. The Sydney Kings bench is devastating. We saw last year in the championship series, Quatnoy in game 2, heroics. Angus Glover, game 5, heroics. The other night in Brisbane, 36, 26, and 11 off the bench.
Yeah, Jonah was 12 and 12. There's Quatnoy not able to finish, but Jonah has been tremendous for him in the last few games.
Adams trying to cut away through. He's just that good. They did everything they possibly could, Perth, to try and stop him, and he still found a way.
Tremendous move. He's got it on his left hand, realizes he's got a taller opponent on him, gets his body into it just a little bit, and then so skillful, so deft with the left hand touch and one. That's nice.
The timeout by the Wildcats. 21-14. 4.5 minutes left in this first quarter. It's fast.
Cool. They're not the only ones that need a break.
We're in the snooze timeout. Brad, you spoke about Jordan Usher and the energy that he brings to this Perth Wildcats team. We caught up with him in the preseason, and he spoke about that being a big part of his game.
I think, basketball is a game of runs and a game of, honestly, just energy, the way the energy flows, the way you can get your team into it. And, sometimes for a guy like me, it helps just to be able to talk a little trash, get under someone's skin, play defense, slide around, and that'll help on the offense. That'll help your other teammates. Even if I'm not necessarily getting a complete stop, my teammates will see the effort. It kind of, energizes them. It might get in the head of the other offensive player. So yeah, it's mainly for me, but it also helps the team for sure.
I think he's going to be one of those players, Brad, that he's going to be a fan favourite when he's in Perth at RAC Arena, and everywhere else he goes, he probably won't be a fan favourite.
Well, I think that's what they missed last year, like being where they finished. They just missed that guy that can do those little things. I love hearing that. Going to do a bit of trash talking, going to give the energy, and I know, speaking of John Riley before, he loves him, absolutely loves him. He had quite a bit of a history with him as well.
Every team needs that type of player. He's a talented instigator, and he's athletic, and he can just provide so many benefits to your team when it comes to winning basketball games. And not only that, I think he's just a perfect fit for this league, a place where he can really excel and show if he has what it takes to get to the next level.
Adams makes the extra. 6-point game at Kudos Bank Arena. From the elbow. How does that rattle out? Earlier today, if you have just joined us, you missed the earlier game. Melbourne put the hurt on the Brisbane Bullets. Brisbane fought back towards the end, Derek, but very impressive showing by Melbourne United. Back on their home floor. Winners in that game, 89-78.
Dean Bickham is getting those guys tightened up.
That first step is unbelievable from Jalen Adams. He just caught that and just took one step and went hard to the basket.
There's Corey Webster. Tough look, hand in the face from Glover, made life difficult.
A step back three without much ball movement.
They've scored the last 8, Sydney.
And Perth have to be careful and understand their success early in this game was due to moving the ball, sharp movement.
Here's what I was talking about, Jade. Look at this first step. Bang.
Just
go. Well, you don't worry about that. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, Derek. But it was just a beautiful first step and right on the rim.
He may not have traveled. I don't know the rules these days, Brad, so I apologize. You could be right.
Brad's got this really nice point. He asked for the replay, and I really want to highlight something. He gets 4 words in and travel. Derek says he travelled. Let me say it's a negative, Nancy.
I'm sorry, my fault.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
I would. That was tight, though. Let's talk about, though, that, Brad, because there have been a lot of complaints about guys getting away with travels, and I would love to see that and have it analyzed. And was that actually a travel? The throwdown dribble is a new type of move that's being utilized.
Yes, no, you're right.
Go up, set the screen. Brucey, take it out. Brucey, take it out.
Sydney coach Mahmoud Abdel Fattah, first season in charge. Most recently was an assistant coach with the Houston Rockets. Glover off the inbound. They love running that play for Angus Glover.
And he'll be happy with that. Coming into the game, only shooting about 15% from the 3. Has had good looks, but to get that first one to drop, the lefty will be happy with that.
They've scored the last 11 points of the game, the Kings, and have squared this one up. Harris with his feet set. He's out there to knock down threes. Sydney look to try and take the lead. There's that ball movement. And Adams short on the 3. Cotton going to work on Glover. Wildcats have got a little stale here. Webster threw it upstairs, and that was sloppy as well. Shot clock still very much in Perth's favour, but they can't find a bucket right now.
Oh, they got away with a couple there, the Kings. Bryce has had some good looks, and he is absolutely feeling it tonight. He's already taken 6 shots for the game, 4 of them. Looking good.
Glover in the corner, 3-second 3. Sean Bruce and Jesse Wagstaff, 2 of the veterans, have a little smile and scrap on the floor.
No, not on that one.
What's changed, boys, from where we were? It was 21-9 at one stage, Perth leading. What's changed since then?
Well, I think there's been some good looks for Perth, and they just haven't been able to drop them. And, you know, we spoke to Bryce, and we saw that at tip-off, where he just said, we just have to be able to knock down some shots, and that's what I see right now.
Cotton scores.
Great play phase right there. An excellent pass from Keanu Pender. He's a better passer than people give him credit for. Had an outstanding game the other night out in Perth against Melbourne United.
Is that a part of his game that's improved, Derek?
Without a doubt, and it's vital to be able to play that position, to handle the ball out on the floor and make good decisions and provide good passing. And Denzel Valentine says, I know what to do this deep out on the floor also. Put it in the bucket.
46% for the season, Denzel Valentine from deep. As Bolden got some ball, but got some hand as well, and some arm, and a bit of everything.
I understand what you're saying, but first got up in the air, was correct. He wasn't off the ground.
You know, it's been an interesting start for Valentine this season because he's quite turnover prone, bringing the ball up, and it happened a lot now, but he can just flat out shoot it. Actually, speaking of him, I don't know if you guys know, but he actually has a song out. You can get it on YouTube. He's a producer, and the song is called Ocean. And I was listening to it with my kids on the way here today. It's not that bad.
What sort of genre are we talking, Brad?
Let's just say not mine.
Is there some sort of opportunity for a duet with or collab with Isaac Humphries, maybe?
If you have seen me...
Not
Derek,
you.
Derek's got to be able to be better than that.
Denzel Valentine and Isaac Humphries. We've got to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac's got the voice of an angel. And Kawatnoy. He's had a hot start to the season. He's another one shooting the lights out. 47% from outside. minute to play in this first quarter. Oh, Valentine's spin in the pass. That was exceptional. Wow. And there he is in the other corner.
That's good.
Webster catch and shoot three. They started hot, Perth.
Yeah. 2 of 8 now from the three-point line.
Purple 7, off arm. Right.
You heard the explanation there.
Well, they've been strict on this in the last few weeks. And to be honest, majority of the time, and when you see replays, they're right.
Yeah.
From the angle we got, it did look like Bruce got the left arm out a little bit.
Officials this afternoon, Alex McEwen, Ken Widgeon and Vaughan Mabry.
Here we go here. You watch this left arm, and there it is there. Defensively, he's done nothing wrong. A little bit of mayo on it as well, but still, I like that call.
Not bad. Perth now, right now, big possession to close out this first quarter. Even though it's tied at 24, they've kind of squandered a lead.
Pinder takes that baseline. As Hunter goes down.
Come back to my point a little bit earlier, Derek. I'm interested to know your point. Right now, with the way Sydney switch, I don't know who's the answer down there to not get the ball to Pinder, because it's not going to be a big if they keep switching.
Well, here's the thing. Even if Jordy Hunter does, after some ball rotations, get caught back on him, they can always step Jordy out off the block, where I think he's significantly disadvantaged in guarding Pinder if Pinder faces up. He's just too quick and athletic for him. And then in any other matchup, it's just a size advantage where Keanu can back his man down and finish over the top of him.
Well, there's some good coaching by John really here, getting his superstars out, give him the 14-second break, no fouls, they won't get called for him, and then give them the quarter time break as well.
Adams takes it at Saar. He's deep from the next star. Speaking of next stars, there's Alex Tui. Right place, right time. Galloway with the steal. And the bucket. 4 points in 5 seconds for the Sydney Kings. John really absolutely losing it next to us with that late turnover. Sydney will take a 2-point lead into quarter time. Chaos at the back end of the opening quarter.
Ball flying around, volleyball-like. Nice put back by Tui. Then Perth, sloppy. We don't see it, but we saw it in real time. And a nice little fadeaway baby jumper from Jalen Galloway. We're never upset with some cheap Super Coast points, Jack.
Quarter time at Kudos Bank Arena. The Kings by 2. Stick with us. Two very offensively minded teams showing us exactly that in the first quarter. Sydney leading 28-26. Bryce Cotton has started really well for the Wildcats, has 11 points. Leading scorer for the Sydney Kings is Jordan Hunter with 6. Derek Rucker, Brad Rosen.
You could guarantee that Bryce Cotton was coming into this game with a very aggressive mindset. They ran a set for him. First play, knocks down the shot. And look, John really would be happy overall with where his team is positioned at the end of the first drive.
Derek, I'm interested, as someone who was a scorer in this league, having not such a great game on Friday night, comes out, where's the balance of, I'm going to get mine, but I've got to make sure I can get my teammates in as well?
I think in this situation here, right here today, Brad, Bryce has just got to worry about himself and understand if he gets his numbers, the team's going to have a very good chance of being in this game for the duration.
Yeah, good call.
Hunter comes out after 30 seconds. Denzel Valentine comes out too and doesn't seem super pleased with it.
Well, that's interesting. We're watching there where Hunter was having a talk with the assistant coach. But Coach Mahmood, he was not happy with Valentine at all. Valentine came off, both hands up like, what have I done? And Coach followed him down, talking to him. So obviously missed their assignments.
Here's Cotton for a second look.
Kings playing with fire, Jack. Letting Cotton get so many good looks. He's had 4 naked looks, I would say, already. Hasn't capitalized yet, but that's a risky way to go about business.
He's 3 of 10 so far, Bryce Cotton. Despite his shooting clip, he's looking very, very dangerous for the Wildcats. Webster thought he was fouled, and from our vantage point, he probably had a fair case.
Johnny, again, John really initiating more conversation with me.
Adams fouled while shooting the 3.
Well, here's an interesting one. Bryce is coming straight over to John Rillie, going, no way. So now JR's having a chat with him, and yep, he's calling a timeout, and we would assume he is going to have a look at this. How can you say no to your superstar?
Well, he was so convinced, Bryce, as well. He came over right next to us and said, oh, I didn't touch him.
Brad, do you think it's worth it? They're getting the 3 for the made. Is it worth it and putting it hands in the official and perhaps losing this?
For 1 point?
Yes.
Yeah, no. I would be saving that. I hear what you're saying.
There's Paul Smith.
The owner, Paul Smith, looking outstanding in his shirt again.
Just another shirt to fly under the radar. Chris Pongras.
Oh, look, to be an owner, look at the stress you go through. Oh, who would do it?
So a coach's challenge called by John Rillie for the foul on Cotton.
Yeah, to get back what you were saying, Derek, I don't think you can say no as a coach because you've got to support your superstar. So that's the first thing. If he's that adamant, yeah, you've got to say, all right, I'm with you. From that angle, look, I'm saying that's successful, but you just don't know on that body a little bit.
And I get it. It would be Cotton's second foul, but I don't think that's really...
Cotton for running into Adams. I've got a foul on Cotton for running into Adams.
I don't think that's going to affect whether or not you're going to play him for the rest of this quarter anyway. He's playing if I'm coaching the team.
Yeah.
Senior official Vaughn Mabry just waiting for word from the replay centre.
Tough angle, Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, there was contact.
Just on that right, you think?
There's contact. Yeah. Right.
Well, I guess the next question is there enough to say no?
Well, that's the thing. It must be clear and definitive to overturn a decision.
And from that angle...
That's all right. How about
all right, you look at Jalen smiling there. The answer is no, he didn't get fouled.
Make some noise in here.
Well, there's, Brad, I thought with your East Sydney connections, you would have been linked into the replay center.
Hey,
Got us some type of
meeting
verdict.
somebody here. All the singles,
not
if you're
NBL
single, make some noise.
The coach's challenge is successful.
You know what to do,
The 3-point shot counts. The foul has been cancelled on Cotton. We have a baseline ball for Perth.
That seems a fair outcome.
Sorry.
A successful challenge from John Rillie.
Well, that can also be 2 positives. 1, he gets a timeout to talk to his team. doesn't now lose the timeout, and he's protected his superstar.
They led by as much as 12 in the first quarter, Perth. Sydney have taken over from there.
Jack, I mentioned the impact of the Sydney Kings bench. Already, they have 12 points. Sorry, make that 6 points. They have 6 points. League average is about 20 to 22 per game off your bench.
Webster, nice pass inside for Pinder. He misses from underneath. Frustration setting in for Perth. They're missing some golden opportunities. Adams forces Usher into the foul. It's his first.
We see Valentine checking in. I like that from the coach. He's not happy with what happened. He walked out and said, that's why I'm bringing you out, but he gets him back in quick to let him know, okay, I'm fine with that now, but let's get back to doing our game plan.
Valentine trying to back in on Cotton, and that was last touch by Jonah Bolden.
Good eyes, Jack.
That's what happens when we're this close. We can see everything.
You win early, too. Brad was reluctant.
Still in.
They have not scored in the first couple of minutes of this second quarter, Perth. Usher, tough mid-range jumper.
Not what they needed right then. They need to get the ball in hands. And here's Galloway.
For Tui. Loose ball is someone's to be won.
And we talked about Perth's defensive rebounding problems throughout the season so far. And you can see Sydney have made a real point of trying to crash the boards and try and come up with some offensive rebounds. They've got 4 in the game so far. There's been a couple more on offer that they quite haven't come up with.
And that's better. You look at the possession before, a turnaround fadeaway to that possession, up fake straight to the hoop. That's what they need.
Bolden rolls to the cut. Beautiful pass out for Galloway. This ball constantly in motion for the Kings. Valentine misses. O-board for Tui. Bolden eventually.
Well, the offensive boards is killing them, Derek. You just mentioned that. That is their 6th offensive rebound.
Hey, clean that up.
Rebounds have been a problem for Perth this season. They were last season as well.
Nice move.
It's the 37-year-old in game number 449. Cuts it back to 3, but as easy as you like at the other end.
Sydney's finding gears right now, Brad, and it's a danger time. That's an obvious foul from Jonah Bolden. Look at the Harvey Norman replay. Galloway so nice with it in the Bolden, and I don't care how many years you've been out of the league, you get that opportunity, Brad, you never forget what to do with it. Well, maybe not you, but Jonah, yes.
One more, go on.
Sorry, Brad, I gotta eat.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
It's actually not one part of you that's sorry.
Oh, Brad and I, we have a very...
A love-hate relationship. I love him and he hates me.
I was going to say, through Bruce Bolden, we have a very good mutual friend, and we've known Jonah since he was an infant. My kids grew up with Jonah.
Yep.
And it's good to see him back in the league. Delved into his crypto experience. Let me tell you, would have made some money out of that crypto venture.
He did really well.
Yeah, I can break down some numbers if you want me to, Brad.
Yeah, no. He did really well, and that'll be a Perth ball. But yeah, Jonah obviously played NBA, had a 10-day contract with Phoenix, and then the COVID situation hit, and he locked down and moved to Vegas and started up the cryptocurrency, as you were saying, and did a lot of that. And I know, as speaking of Bruce's, in his words, a proud pops to see him back in this league and seeing him in a Kings singlet.
Usher for 3. He's bringing that energy. He's got it back to 2 once more.
Jack, that was a very difficult shot he made right there. And again, Adams, with great recognition, as we talked about earlier, Brad, knows what's going on in the game and what he needs to do.
Yeah, totally. Look at that. That's just a nice step back. That's just good defense, just better offense.
35-33 at Kudos Bank Arena. Kawatnoy coming back in. Michael Harris back in as well as Jordan Usher comes out with a couple of fouls.
2.
You can just see there, Brad. Usher comes out and says, Coach, I want to stay out there. I can manage the 2 fouls, but John really not willing to take that risk.
I would not expect anything else from him.
Man, I used to hate when the coach would take me out with 2 fouls in the second quarter. And my boy Joey Wright was one of the most notorious coaches for bringing you out. 2 fouls, you're coming out.
Can I just say, as a backup point guard, I was all for it. I thought it should have happened after the first.
Of course he did.
Oh, boy.
There's no interest like self-interest. Cotton's got 11. We're just inside. Valentine, quick release 3. The Kings 4 of 14 from outside. Valentine fires from next door. That's 4 of 15 now. Nice pass. Adams found the roller. Noy doesn't finish.
Well, Perth dodged a bullet. They're up to 9 offensive rebounds now, the Sydney Kings, and they had some good looks there as well.
Corey Webster at the other end hurts them.
And they needed that. 4 of 12 from the 3-point line. They are the Wildcats. That was a big score as Jalen Adam gets right into the seams.
Black 17.
What's been better, Brad, for Perth in this second quarter?
Well, just offensively, they are putting the ball in the hole. You look at Usher, gets to the hoop, hits a 3. I think defensively, I don't want to say they're better. I think the Kings have just missed some shots. So
I think offensively, after they got off to that hot start, they got a little bit rushed, Brad, and they went away what was really getting it going for them. And now it seems like they've settled back into a better offensive rhythm, which consequently is helping them on the defensive end. The Kings are down now to just 41% from the field and have cooled off significantly from the 3-point line.
Brad Rosen, Derek Rucker in commentary courtside at Kudos Bank Arena. Early this afternoon, Melbourne United wins over the Brisbane Bullets 89-78. Chris Golding was throwing flames in the first half of that game. I wonder, though, whether Melbourne would be a little disappointed with how they finished.
Of course. That eats you up.
Wow. Michael Harris ties things up.
just the confidence. Good feet set, bang, knocks it down.
His first made 3 of the season. Apologies, second, I should say.
Yeah, that's on Valentine. He didn't have his feet set there. And again, another one the referees have been very strong about in these first few rounds.
Well, we've got a nice, healthy crowd in here today, Jack. Sunday afternoon, a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I know you were happy to get up here from Melbourne, but the Wildcats have done a good job in neutralizing their energy early. And the Sydney crowd kind of waiting for something to pop.
Yeah. It is such a brilliant basketball venue, this. As you say, the Wildcats have done a good job silencing the home crowd by and large. Pinder over the top of Glover.
Well, you've got to keep going back to that. I know he missed it, but that is just so easy. If he's going to have, well, anyone on it, like we said, Derek said before, but that time Glover.
And Hunter rolls and scores.
Two good play phases. Good basketball by Perth on the other end to get the ball to their main inside guy. And then the Kings come down and execute a nice middle pick and roll. They throw it up in the air to Hunter, and he finishes it. Just good basketball, Jack.
8 points now for Geordie Hunter. 3 of 4 from the field. He had 22 and 8 last Sunday here. His pin is called for a hook.
But we are right close to that. I'm going to say, yes, I saw the hook, but the one before that may have been the one that they're upset about.
100.
3.5 minutes before halftime.
Don't run. And 1.
What's it like playing in a venue like this one,
That's okay. That's okay.
Brad, when you know that you're a Sydney King, former captain of this club, when you know that you've got such a big, loud home court crowd behind you?
You know, it's interesting. A lot of people, some people don't like to play at home, and some people like, you know, don't like to play away, and it's different. I loved it when I played here. The crowd was also always engaging. They're tough. They're tough. You know, Sydney, that's what it's like, and they're tough, and they want winners, but they are just so passionate.
And Brad had the benefit as a player, and his persona was one that everybody cheered for him. Everyone wanted him to do well. So when he got in the game, the crowd erupted. So I don't know how you could have played poorly, Brad.
Did he just feel bad with what he said before?
A little bit.
Yeah.
You could tell that hurt him coming out.
I was going to guess if I saw you hit him on his wrist. Okay.
Also, some of those cheers were probably because people needed
Get
some
him, buddy.
sparky stuff done around their house.
Yeah.
Needed you to come around during the week and sort something out.
He can fix my lungs.
Three-point game. Things have slowed down a little in this second quarter. Here's Alex Saab. Deep on the 3 ball.
It's not a bad-looking stroke. It comes out a bit corkscrewy in rotation, Brad, but I think it's something that can be easily fixed.
The big thing I noticed is he can get that shot anytime he likes because he gets it up so high. It's a beautiful move from Valentine, but he gets it up so high that it's almost unblockable.
5 points for Valentine. Here's Harris with room to shoot. Nice work from Cotton. Got a hand in the lane and wins possession back for the Wildcats.
And Perth have done a good job in neutralizing Quad Noy. He came into this game shooting 50% from the 3, Brad. He absolutely torched Brisbane up there Friday night in the first half. And you got to give him credit for being able to execute that part of the game plan.
It was the closeout by Corey Webster. I completely agree. He was there right on the catch and not going to let him have a feet set at all.
Usher steps back on Valentine. That's short. Wildcats had some issues shooting the 3 ball on Friday night against Melbourne. Glover misses everything. He's having a heap of issues shooting the 3 ball this season so far. Bruce had to fire from a mile away with 2 on the clock. Here's Wagstaff over the top of Sean Bruce. Just did enough defensively, and Coach John really frustrated next to us. Valentine starting to cook.
And Perth probably lucky to be able to stay this close. They're getting absolutely annihilated on the boards, 28-12. John really very upset with the refereeing at the moment. Valentine stops on a dime, fakes a pass, lazy mid-range J. Kings up 7.
It's a handy little buffer. Now as Denzel Valentine has 7 points. Big crowd in the house once again at Kudos Bank Arena, right next to us. These are the Pump by Reebok seats They are the best seats in town right now. There's Pip Edwards, creative director, founder of the global clothing company, PE Nation. Everyone's wearing PE Nation these days. And next to Pip is Jordan Simeon, artist, a boxer, podcast host, content creator, you name it. Just a very popular individual, Derek.
You said everyone's wearing PE Nation. We need to get some of that for us, Jack, and of course, Paul Smith has changed the fortunes of basketball in Sydney, Hoops capital. And look at this tweet. Ah, the smell of my fresh cut grass. Yes, I mow my own lawn. It must be Sunday. Oh, boy. Paul, way to get into it.
It's the matchup that matters most, folks, and always will. Now, this goes back, well, for a long time, but certainly the 2020 Grand Final Series that was COVID affected.
Sorry, Jack, at Sydney, we don't remember. Which one was that?
Paul Smith certainly remembers.
He remembers and he will never forget.
He remembers everything.
Just for facts, Jack, can you explain to those that don't remember? Can you tell them what happened?
Well, we've only got a minute 21 before half-time.
Okay.
That's not enough time to go through it all. The Red Army will be watching back in Perth and they'll just be shaking their heads, I reckon. It is an important minute 20, though, for Perth as Sydney are getting on top, heading to half-time. Bruce the lob for Hunter.
ATO special. They run Bruce off of some ball screens, and then through the backside, they get Hunter at the rim. Easy dunk.
Textbook Sydney Kings offense. Webster, big hit at the other end.
Desperately needed.
Valentine kicks it out for Glover. His shooting woes continue. Cotton's in the open court, but Glover beat him to it.
And I saw what Wagstaff was trying to do. He just got it wrong. Poor outcome there for the Wildcats.
Shot clock, game clock, in unison. One meaningful possession for Sydney to finish the quarter. Textbook Kings offense. Usher doesn't get his shot away. Sydney finished the quarter in a big way. They've got 50 on the board at the half.
Great finish there on the back of some Wildcat untidiness. Bryce Cotton very disappointed with the end of that first half. Kings up by 8.
Geordie Hunter has 13 points. Jalen Adams has 12 as we get over to Brad Rosen.
Yeah, I've got Jonah Bolden here. Jonah, what's the coach going to be match happy here? 50 points offensively or 42 D?
42 defensively. Our goal is 21, so we met our goals.
They came out firing at the start, but your defense really set place, and I noticed crashing the offensive glass. Is that what spoke about?
Yeah, 100%. I think our biggest thing is just maintaining defense and crushing the boards.
Good luck the second half.
8-point lead for the Kings on their home floor this afternoon at Kudos Bank Arena. Sunday Hoops. We're going to come back and talk all about it on the other side of this. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL.
I mean, seriously. Alex Tui, he plays with a poise that a 20-year-old normally doesn't play with. Man, he's exciting.
My name is Alex Tui from Canberra, and I play for the Sydney Kings.
Just give it to the vet. Just give it to the young vet.
So I spent 3 years in Europe. I was like 5 or 6. My parents were in the military, so I was in Belgium, and every weekend we'd drive to France or drive to Germany, just being able to go to all these unreal places, getting accustomed to different cultures. It was unreal. My mum was my first basketball coach. I think I started when I was like 7. She kind of got me into it, and my brother played in the backyard. He was by himself for a while, so I started to kind of join in with him and then took off from there.
One of the NBL next stars this season.
10, good.
You can understand why the Kings were delighted to get his signature.
The opportunity that came up at Sydney was something that I couldn't really say no to, and talking to Chris and the management there, they're super invested in their team and they want to get guys to the next level, and I think that's where it was going to be best for me to develop and be in that professional environment, so I'm super excited to kind of see where it goes this year. A bunch of people have been really important. Guys at the NBA Academy and the Basketball Centre of Excellence in Canberra, they've been huge mentors for me, and just kind of being able to see guys like Giddy come through that program, just being able to talk to him and pick his brain about what he went through, like he's been where I am now, and to see where he is in 2 years. I think a lot of people weren't expecting it, but just being able to talk to him about how it all went has been good.
Alex Tui is one of the best young Australian basketball prospects.
He's got the size, he's got the playing ability, he's smart.
And can shoot.
No matter where you go, you just want to put the best foot forward. I just want to help the team everywhere I can. Be someone that can help the team on offense and defensively, being able to guard different positions, being able to make threes, make some nice plays on the rim, but just help the team win a championship, and I think that's what's going to help me get to where I want to get.
He is a very, very special talent, Alex Tui. 19 years of age, from Canberra, out of the Centre of Excellence. Decommitted from Gonzaga to be here in the NBL as a next star, Derek. I don't think we're going to see him for long, so we should enjoy it while he's here.
Most definitely, Jack. And if you look at his talent, his size, all these things point to a very long and successful NBA career. But I think right now, one of the main advantages that he has over others in his peer group is his ability to shoot the basketball. And also, he plays with a certain maturity that you have not been able to find in a lot of players of his age. So the future is great for Alex Tui.
So the Sydney Kings leading at halftime, 50-42, but Jordan Usher has been outstanding for the Perth Wildcats. Our Hungry Jacks halftime highlights. He's brought energy, he's brought enthusiasm, he shot the ball well, he's been really, really good for them.
And the only thing is, he'd probably be disappointed he didn't get to play the whole time, because when he was on the floor, they were only a -6, whereas some of his partners that started didn't fare as well. He played 14 minutes, took 6 shots. I'd look for him to be a lot more aggressive coming out of this second half, just to take the load a little bit off of Bryce Cotton, who I believe has played well. Bryce has looked aggressive, he's looked strong, but he hasn't been able to really knock down shots. If we look at Jordan Usher's shot chart.
Thanks to Blackmores, you can see a lot of green, 4 of 6 from the field. Nice start to him from the opening half. From a Sydney Kings perspective, though, we talk so much about the stars in this team, and in particular Jalen Adams, Denzel Valentine, but we should take a moment here, I think, to talk about Geordie Hunter and the season that he's having so far. Playing now as the starting centre in the team who have won the last 2 championships. He's been pushed to the moon by Luke Longley, said give this guy more minutes, and he's rewarding them.
Well, it's probably the moment he's been waiting for. We know he missed a season a couple ago, and now he gets the opportunity where things have opened up with the departure of Xavier Cooks. He is the guy coming back that must keep the continuity of success alive from the interior perspective. He's a very good basketball player, make no mistake about it. Last year in game 1 here, we saw his contributions. He came out and kept the game alive, and tonight he's got 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. He's long, he's athletic, and he's still relatively young, Jack. There's a lot of basketball left for Geordie Hunter with the Sydney Kings.
Third quarter coming up next from Kudos Bank Arena. It's the Sydney Kings who lead 50-42 over the Perth Wildcats here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Okay, well, don't forget, three-quarter time, we're doing the massive Harvey Norman giveaways, big prizes, wireless headphones, all sorts of things, awesome. But yeah, get the pop-ups. You've got to have your pop-ups, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you all are ready to win and get those pop-ups out for all the prizes. So good luck and all the best. And I think we've got a few birthday shout-outs coming out right now. If you take a look at the big screen, ladies and gentlemen, there's all our birthdays. A shout out to Jordan as well, it's his birthday. Shout out to Alyssa, Ava, Antonio Waker. And also welcome the Centre of Excellence men's basketball team and coaches. And a shout out to BB Nation. Also to Simone, the most beautiful girl in this house tonight. Wow. Very fancy. Happy birthday to everyone. Yes, 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 we better kick off the second half, but let's get the energy right. You know what time it is? Here we go. I got to be blessed with some old school. We're going back with the ring. Let's go. Let's turn it right now. Sydney Kings on top, baby. Let's go.
Great to be with you at Kudos Bank Arena. The Sydney Kings leading the Perth Wildcats 50-42. Third quarter is not too far away. Let's get over to Brad Rosen, who caught up with Fleur McIntyre, assistant coach of the Sydney Kings.
Coach Fleur, what was spoke about there? Defence or offence?
Well, I think after we gave up 20 points in the first 5 minutes, it was about our defence. I think early on we didn't have enough physicality, not enough body on body, too much separation for them on their screening action. So that was a focus for us. Offensively, we need to just keep putting pressure on the rim. We're not shooting a great right now, but that's okay. We do an unbelievable job of sharing the ball.
Offensively, you are crashing the offensive glass. Was that spoken about?
That's our focus every single game. So, again, we know that they've been quite poor on the defensive board. So, again, we're just trying to crash constantly. We're trying to put as much pressure on the rim as we can, whether that's through rolls, cuts, and then crashing the O-glass.
Absolute pro. You're passing things on to your assistant coaches here. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We talk a lot about the next big names in Australian basketball, and we talk about people like Alex Toohey and what the future looks like for Ben Henschel. Just remember the name Fleur McIntyre, ladies and gentlemen. She has got an enormous future internationally in the coaching cape.
And I was just saying, we had a good laugh before we went in there. She was like, yeah, I'm ready for the interview. It's all okay. And as I'm talking to her, she's passing things on to the other assistant coaches. She's focused. And you just heard that was all on sync. She has a huge future, no question.
Big challenge in front of the Wildcats. Just have had some periods in the first half where offensively they were stone cold. Little push from Wagstaff will go.
Little flip shot. Realized he had the bigger Jordy Hunter on him and did what he was supposed to do with it.
Derek, I'm interested to hear, we just heard about Fleur there, where she was saying that, you know, they're not great on the defensive rebounds, and we know that, so we're going to crash. That's where Doolittle they're missing today. Now, we spoke to John Riley before the game, and, you know, there's a lot of talk, he says, about Doolittle, like, you know, some negative. He's like, I love the guy, and I think that's the one that could be a key.
Yeah, and on Doolittle, he's a day-to-day proposition for the Wildcats. Hopefully they'll have him back to start round 4. John really feels like he found his rhythm within the team right away, and he's going to be a valuable contributor as this season progresses.
Which is good news for Perth because it looked pretty serious on Friday night, that injury. So the fact that it's probably only going to be a week or two is a much better result than the way it looked at first.
We talk about this kid, from memory's correct, parents were in the military. He's got great pedigree, understands the game, such a workhorse. He's got a huge future this next start. She's loved watching him play.
Pinder threw a bullet down to Usher. Tough finish over the top of Valentine. They're finding ways, Perth. It's not always pretty. Tui with the miss and the putback from Geordie Hunter.
Just careless on the weak side. I always talk to young players when I coach them, try and anticipate where the ball's going. Judge the flight of the ball, the rotation of it, Brad, because that weak side rebounding is vital. Somebody should have been moving over, realizing that thing was a brick, and trying to get that thing clean off the glass. The result, though, is a bucket and one possibility at a vital time for Geordie Hunter.
Well, this is a huge couple of minutes for both teams. Sydney, if they can keep that hammer down and crashing the glass and getting those boards and running, this can be a 20-point game. Likewise, if Perth, they can get this right back and get some flow going.
Adams off the bounce pass for Tui. Got it!
Beautiful high post work there from Geordie Hunter. Played some tricks with the ball, delivered a nice pass, which led to the kick-out 3 by Tui. Perth in trouble.
Double-digit lead now for Sydney. Usher picks up his 3rd.
Oh, that's right in front of us as well. You see Tui here. Look at this, just beautiful action straight in the corner. Hits the 3. Beautiful offense.
Tui's wrenched his knee a little bit in that altercation with Usher. No movement from the Kings bench.
Saw it on the Harvey Norman replay. Jesse Wagstaff called for a foul. This is in danger of completely unraveling for Perth at the moment.
You've just mentioned about the knee. He's just called for the substitution here. Coach has looked at him and said, nope, stay at the moment.
Yeah, 19, here we go.
Well, he's limping on that right leg for sure.
12-point lead for Sydney. Hunter. This is some close range over the top of Pinder.
Stay here.
Let's have another look at Alex Tui.
Oh, yeah, right on that inside of that right knee. That's just bruising there.
A little knee-on-knee action.
Yeah, that hurts.
And 1.
Though.
And 2. And 3.
He remains in the game. And there he is.
I think it's fine.
15-point lead to the Sydney Kings. Big problems now for the Wildcats.
And a classic example of sometimes, Brad, you just got to push through and stretch your limitations because you never know what you might get out of it. A big 3 right there. 15 is a big advantage for the Sydney Kings going into the mid part of only the 3rd quarter, Brad. Perth have big problems. They've got to get it together.
11-4 run to start this 3rd quarter, Brad.
Yeah, and look, to be honest with you, it's just not good enough. We saw this play here, and they're chasing down. Nothing's on the catch. They're able to do literally whatever they want, and that high action is really working for the Kings. There's the little knee we saw. He looked at the bench and said, no, I'm not right. Right on the inside of that right knee, and that will be sore. But like you said, just push through, get it all going, and then he goes to the corner here.
Hobbles his way to the corner.
You only need one leg to shoot, Derek.
That's right, especially when you're that tall. Simple knee flex. Raise that thing up.
He knocks down the Mitsubishi Motors 3. what's happening here for Perth in quarter number 3, or more to the point, what's not happening for Perth in this third quarter?
Well, I think right now they've got to get back to running good offensive sets, try and get Bryce Cotton involved offensively because he's really been a non-factor since early in the first quarter, and then build some stops. Perhaps look to change up your defensive schemes, maybe pick up the floor a little bit, Brad.
Yeah, look, Derek, you and I spoke about it before. What about just putting someone on and don't let Jalen touch the ball? Just like get someone completely, just don't let him bring the ball up and make someone else do something different. May work, may not, but you've got to try stuff.
Final game of round 3 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Pinder steps out of bounds. Geordie Hunter has another individual win over Keanu Pinder.
And Alex Tui's remained in the game, which is good to see. The Kings come down. Obviously, they've got their set called after that timeout. Let's see if they execute it against this Wildcat zone. Now they've gone to a man. I don't think they know what they're in.
Webster, Usher, Cotton, Saar, Pinder on the floor for Perth. Here is Alex Saar, who's foul over the back.
Brad, were you able to read that defense there from the Wildcats? They were pointing off like it was a zone, but
I don't know if that, it definitely started in a zone, and I don't know if it was meant to be one pass and into a man, but it certainly, there was no communication. That's the number one thing, and that's what they've got to start to do. But even again, like Usher shooting the ball well, okay, but one pass shot is not going to get it done here.
Webster. Off the side. Alex Tui just did enough defensively. Sydney push forward. Here's Tui for 3. Good look that rattles out. Webster for Saar.
And Ty Webster recognizes that the Wildcats need a boost. Bryce isn't providing the scoring punch that they've regularly had. Now it looks like they're set in the zone that they were trying to hit last time, Brad. Looks like a 3-2 point drop.
Alex Saar with his first points of the afternoon. Shot clock at 4 for Valentine. Hunter catches it mid-air and stuffs it.
And there's the problem with a zone. You've got to be able to box out, and they don't. And Jordan Hunter comes through with the 11th offensive rebound of the game for the Kings and hammers it home.
18 points now for Geordie Hunter. Playing a starring role. Webster gets to the other end and scores to keep Perth in it.
Oh.
Valentine over his head for Hunter. If that went down, then they could do no wrong.
It's a great pass from Valentine. Big possession here from the Wildcats. If they can get this thing within double figures to start the fourth quarter, we got ourselves a game. Just got to change this tempo, Brad. It's too easy for Sydney right now.
Corey Webster next to us at the scorer's table about to check in. Cotton in transition 3.
And that's what they needed. Didn't matter what it was, don't give that ball up. Take that shot. 7 of 19 from the three-point line, and the Kings 6 of 25.
Galloway extra pass for Valentine. And the Kings get a second look at things. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Tui in that corner.
Wow, that looked like a foul.
Valentine can't score. Frustration from the Perth bench as Saar lets it fly, and that's well short.
No structure in this game at the moment. It's just do whatever we want to do. No offense. Defense is incidental. Whatever. Let's just get up and down.
Derek, you're so right. That could be like the 6th or 7th three in a row. The Kings shooting 20% from the three-point line, and not much better for Perth at 35%.
And the referees have bought in as well. Wow.
Galloway goes crashing into Pinder. Let's have a look here on the Harvey Norman replay. Here's Geordie Hunter. Read it beautifully off the rim.
And that's a great feeling to be up there hanging around in the clouds. You get that free launch on the runway, Brad. And it's all good from there. You're upset by the passage of play you've seen the past couple of minutes, Brad. I can feel your emotions are a bit askew.
I am frustrated because I think, you know, Perth, I don't think they played great on Friday night. They then come here. I don't think they played great in the first half. And I'm thinking they've gone in at halftime. There is no doubt they would have been spoken about the offensive rebound. There's no doubt in saying this next 5-7 minutes is a real key. And they've come out really lackadaisy, but they're still only 10 down. We just saw a little bit of an injury here from Keanu. Looks like he's taken one right in the ribs there.
He's still very protective of that orbital injury around the eye from last season.
But do you agree, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, it may be a bit dated, but I just believe you need a certain amount of structure in your game. Sometimes it's just to give the team a collective rest, to let your brain reset.
Webster found the parts of the basket.
And that was good offense, Jack. Swung it from side to side. Gap presents. Webster exploits and finishes. 3-2 zone now. Let's see if they got defensive structure in place.
Hiram Harrison for his first minutes. David Aquera back into the game too. Galloway, this is great D from Perth. Forced a tough shot. And eventually they get the whistle that they've been searching.
Well, Jack, you're right, it is good D. And you look at what they've been able to do here, Perth. That zone is working. They are forcing the Kings in to taking the three, and they're settling for it. Perth are getting the ball, and now I'm with Derry. Go down and get good sets and good looks. They're right in this game.
And the Kings are dismal. 6 of 30 from the three at 20%, Jack. So Perth, it's a weird game. Perth have generated an opportunity for themselves despite looking less than average.
Cotton swings to Corey Webster. He's guarded by Noy. Shot clock at 5. Behind the back. Cotton can't score.
Beautiful basketball move.
It's 4 of 14 for the afternoon, the benchmark. Back up top to Bruce. Galloway.
Jack, there's a little bit of something that's developed amongst the players. There's a little bit of energy, a little bit of spite out there. I feel it. It's changed.
In a good way for Perth, is that what you're saying, Derek?
I believe so, Jack.
That's a wild one from Corey Webster.
He's frustrated. He's looking at the referee. He feels he got hit. And from what I'm seeing of him, he's thinking he threw that up, hoping to get the call, but he is not get it, but he is heated.
Jalen Galloway checks out. McQuatch Malawatch in for his first minutes this afternoon. Out there with Glover, Bruce, Noy and Bolden. Both the Websters, Cotton, Hiram Harris and David Aquera on the floor for the Wildcats. Noy foul!
And Sydney were able to solve the zone right there. They flattened out the defense. Getting the ball to the corner, then a post entry.
You can see TJ Hogan standing on the sidelines, still yet to play a game for the Sydney Kings, their big off-season recruit. He's very close, we're told, Brad, the next week or two.
Yeah, doing contact training is what I understand, so he'll be evaluated in the next week or two, and then we would expect and hope that he will be back very shortly.
All NBL second team last season with Cairns. And another shooter, as if the Kings needed more of them.
Well, you know, you can talk the same of Melbourne, you know, like playing really well, and they've got JLA sitting there in the background as well.
I mean, the reality is, when Hogue and when JLA come back into their respective lineups, it's going to affect some guys' court time. It's going to affect how they play as a unit until they work it all out. I told you, Jack, there's some spirit in this game.
There sure is.
And you would expect Glover, when the spirit increases,
he
to
will
be
too.
involved.
He will be too.
Things are getting a little spicy out there now.
Well, Derek, you said it before about Usher. That type of mentality, that's Glover too.
Yeah.
Just be able to change that.
And Wildcats 7 of 21 for the afternoon from outside. Sydney, even worse, 6 for 30. Glover trying to change his fortunes. The harder he tries, the more he's missing by at the moment.
Oh, nice pass.
And the Webster boys combine. Hiram Harris comes up with it. Aquera tries his luck for 3. That goes.
Well, we were speaking again, Hiram Harris, massive fan of him. He's crashing, he's doing the little things. Great offensive rebound there that was able to give Perth that second look.
David Aquera making the most of his extra opportunity this afternoon.
Big final minute. I said single figures was the target. They got it to 10. Bryce looking to dance.
Corey Webster. Harris, the handoff for Cotton. He's fouled. He thought he was fouled, but still finds a way to score.
Oh, Jack, you were right. Don't doubt yourself. He was fouled. Wow.
And now things are going to get a little interesting.
And I'm a fan of that type of foul, Jack. That's what we called in the 90s the second foul. Come in and let him know. I know you got fouled out there, but I'm bringing a little something at you.
He's changed the game, Harris. I love it. You know, another great pass there. Able to give Bryce that ball.
Let's have a look at Bryce here, Derek.
Do we need to...
That's a foul.
Yeah, that's a foul. You're right.
So we're going to foul over here, and then the second action by Hiram Harris is just smashed in.
And then Bryce
the second action by
may have
Hiram
gotten
Harris.
stepped
Even
on.
though we got the first foul here, and we've got second.
Oh, yeah. See, I like that. I like that. Your team is losing. You got back into it by changing the emotional vibe in the building. Carry on with it. Let's go.
I love that. But I am going to say, I think they're going to have a look at it, and that could be an unsportsmanlike.
And you'll probably have to go home and talk to your kids and explain to them this evening over dinner why you like that, Brad.
I love the fact that he's coming afterwards. That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I love that, and letting him know, no, not here. But look at that. The foul's been called, and he's coming afterwards. He's grabbing that arm. Again, I love it, but I think they're going to call that.
Complain on every single whistle, he's going to lose credibility. He's going to cost the team. If the bench is going to complain on every single whistle, you guys are going to lose credibility, and your bench activity is going to cost you.
Okay, nothing extra, 2 shots. We took a look at it.
Looking
Okay, here we go.
at the second action.
I haven't seen it today, obviously, but I'm going to watch it, absolutely.
Meanwhile, that was a very interesting exchange. Kenwich and John Riley.
There was some.
You'll be happy to know it's not called. So it's play on.
I like it.
Yep. That was a great little chat, by the way.
Conversations surrounding credibility. Can someone watch film?
There's a lot going on inside Kudos Bank Arena right now. Cotton had to give it up for Webster. Late clock. Big knockdown from Corey Webster. 7-point game.
An elite professional shooter. You saw great activity there. Jab, ball fake. Rocked him, knocked it down. Glover on the other end, no dice.
Aquera will have to shoot from halfway. At three-quarter time, the Wildcats have put themselves in the hunt. They were at risk of getting blown off the map, and they trail by 8 at three-quarter time. Kudos Bank Arena is your home of Sunday hoops, and we're back with the fourth quarter on the other side of this.
Let's go, Harvey Norman's giving away everything. How good are they? Look at Perth, they're ready to get up. Sit down, Perth. Congratulations. And last prize is the Sony wireless headphones. Oh, look at this one. This guy's going crazy. Is that our winner? Look at Perth. That's our winner. Congratulations. There's still more prizes. Sit down. Thanks to Harvey Norman. All the prizes we give away.
It's three-quarter time at Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney. The Kings leading 70-62. Alex Tui showing his talents once more. Has 12 points, has shot the ball really, really well. The Kings and the Wildcats, things are always spicy when they get together, and today has been no exception.
Well, the Kings face a real challenge now. They threatened to blow that game out in the third quarter. They hit 16 threes the other night in Brisbane. Today, they're 6 of 33. They're ice cold. How do they win this game, especially against a Wildcats team that's first in the league in scoring in the fourth quarter, Brad?
You know what? I got to hand it to John Riley. That is in-game coaching. He changed it up, and that zone worked. Put in Harris, and that worked. Well done.
Hiram Harris stays out there to start the fourth quarter. Tui, good look for Valentine. Beautiful shooter of the basketball.
That's a big hit to come out of the three-quarter break. Just one that settles the team, gives them a vital 3 points, and even more importantly, might add some confidence to the Kings' perimeter shooting.
Corey Webster can't respond at the other end. Quera picks up the loose ball and puts it back in.
Hiram Harris again. I know I sound like a broken record, but he doesn't get that ball if he doesn't crash first.
Free throws for Sydney. Substitutions for both teams as well. There's a lot of tired bodies out there. Both teams played on Friday night.
And the intensity is really high, Jack. You know, we talked about it, I believe, last week, about the uniqueness of the NBL. It's not like the NBA where you throw some games away due to travel schedules, and you have the volume to be able to make up for it. There's not a volume of games here in which you can afford to be loose with the game here or there. You got to be ready to go every single game.
I love that point you make, Derek, because, you know, we talk in round 2, this is a huge game for this team. Or round 3, wow, you don't want to take this loss. That's the strength of our league, without a doubt.
It's interesting when you talk to new imports that come to the Hungry Jacks NBLs. Cotton is short. They say the same thing, that we've never played in a league where every single game is as important as the next one.
And that's why we get intensity like we have right now.
Valentine gets it to drop and takes himself to 13 points.
He's been big here at the start. Get it up, hits the 3, gets to the free throw line, and has that little runner.
Corey Webster to the basket. Adams got a piece of it. And Valentine behind the back for Noy. Adams exploring as easy as you like for Hunter.
Got to get a timeout, Perth. Terrible start to the fourth quarter. Kings on a burst.
78-64 out of the snooze timeout.
Timeout on the floor. Check your scores. The Wildcats 64, our Sydney Kings 78.
Time stands still when Jalen Adams has the basketball.
And I thought that Jordy Hunter in that play brought the ball the wrong way, but You can't really be wrong if you kick it to Jalen Adams and allow him to go to work, which he did. And then on the end of it, Jordy Hunter gets a nice delivery underneath the basket. And he works at a high frequency rate from there, Brad.
It's just been 2 nice minutes by the Kings. They were unsettled there at the end of the third. And to be able to come out, Valentine, as we just said, being great. Then they get into the hand of their MVP, Jalen Adams, who makes great decisions, just got so much time.
And Jordy Hunter, this is 2 Sundays in a row, Jack, where he's been outstanding. 20 points, 9 rebounds, very efficient out there, 8 of 11 from the field. Great stuff.
Sunday hoops at Kudos Bank Arena. The Kings leading 78-64. And Brad, good things are happening when Jalen Adams is touching the ball.
Yeah, well, look, he's just so good on the open floor, makes the right decisions, gets the ball back. And this is the one Derek was just talking about. Then Jordan gets to the right spot, and Jordan Hunter. I mean, this guy, he can play. He knows what to do on the big stage.
Just 2 points for Perth in the first couple of minutes of this fourth quarter. And this game is in danger of slipping away from them.
Now Sydney have gone to their own zone. Leads to a baby jumper by Saar. Nice touch. That's a very difficult shot. That shot, in fact, is harder to make than a deep 3.
Yep. Noy tips it in. Was pushed in the back at the same time.
And the Kings have found something off the back of that first shot of the quarter from Denzel Valentine. Now the rest of the game's opening up. Adams steps back. No love, but in there on the glass, exploiting that Perth Wildcats defensive rebounding weakness. Quad Noy, tap in, and one opportunity, Brad.
Well, just does it so well. You look at him, look at that. 50, 50, and 90. Now, we say if you can get 50 from the field goal, 40 from the three-point line, and 90 from the free throw, you're unbelievable. He's at 50 from the three-point line. He is having a stellar start to this season.
There's only 2 players in the league in that sort of territory. Quad Noy and Silent Cheatham of the New Zealand Breakers.
And you know what, when you speak to Quat Noy, one of the things he is, he's so comfortable in this environment. He's engaged. Oh, there's pin on top too. But he's so happy as he'll lay this up. And he'll get 2 free throws. But he's got 2 young kids with his partner Cody. He's in a very great environment coming from Cairns and just loves being. And here's we're going to see this pin to dunk over the top here.
What's okay? Still on the way up. Still on the way up. No, not off the backboard. Not off the backboard. It's still on the way up into the backboard.
Good call there too. Not counting it. But yeah, getting back to Quat Noy, like I said, just loving life in Sydney.
So far this season, we saw his shooting clip. He's averaging 14 points a game. Last season, averaged 7.5. So, yes, we are early in the season still, but he's showing great development.
And they sub him out.
Always the way.
But no, great minutes.
But you like to see also the fact that he's doing other things. He's rebounding the basketball. He's got 7 boards. He's looking after only 1 turnover. And even though he's not shooting as well today, still having an impact.
Ben Hitchell throws up an air ball. Adams surveys, sees it, he's guarded by Pinder. The first of Valentine late in the clock. There's Adams relocating.
Well, that was pretty good D by Pinder. Not many people can stop Jalen Adams at the top there, and he's got those long arms, but he moved his feet. And Derek, you mentioned earlier, sometimes you just got to stop your man, and he did that right there.
It's put back in by Saar. They won't go away, the Wildcats.
And all it takes is a couple of stops and a couple of bombs, and things change really quickly.
Bolden scores from underneath. That's the other problem for Perth, is that they can score, but they're not stopping Sydney from scoring.
just tells me that it's Bryce Cotton time now.
It's easy to say.
Is he seeing enough of it in the fourth quarter?
Look, he's taken 16 shots for the game, but a lot of those were early.
Stay right there.
He's done it long enough to know that man right there, he could carry them to the victory. But the Kings D is pretty solid today.
They've just done a good job of even limiting his creativity. He only has a couple of assists, and that's a big part of Bryce's game as well.
Adams trying to fight through heavy contact. The officials let it go. Usher has 11 points. Cotton and Adams. The switch comes though. Bryce dumps it out for Usher. Pinder picks up the loose ball. He doesn't score either. And he and Bolden get caught up.
We're good. Guys. That's my rebound there. We got it.
Well, there's two pros. Two pros just going at it.
Blue ball. Block 25, grabs his arm. Blue ball.
Jonah Bolden said, it's my rebound.
They all count, Jack.
That was a good offensive rebound there by Pinder, but he had Bryce right open there on his right, and I would have loved to have just seen him bang. They're the ones that get your teammates going.
And Jonah flirting with another double-double, Brad. 9 points, 13 boards to go with the 12 and 12 he had put up on the Bullets the other night. He's made significant advancement in the past 2 weeks, and he throws a dime to Adams.
16-point lead now.
Something his father was outstanding at is passing the ball, and that one right there.
Pinder put on the floor by Sean Bruce. It's been a physical game. Sean Bruce getting his money's worth.
And I don't know if we'll let this highlight run here, but watch how Sean Bruce goes to show him his hand. And as he's showing his hand, it's a little psychological ploy. He doesn't look at him. He doesn't look at him to provide any further assistance. And that's great.
Yeah.
It's being unsportsmanlike, sportsmanlike. That makes sense, Brad.
What?
You lost me at hello.
What did you just say? Unsportsmanlike, sportsmanlike.
Exactly. Like you're doing it, you're trying to do the right thing here, but Sean doesn't really want to help him up. He doesn't want to help him up. You know that, Brad.
Well, it's sportsmanlike, unsportsmanlike. I know.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for coming to the party. Albeit 5 minutes late, but we got there in the end. Some teams, though, Brad, have the rule where you don't help the opposition up.
Yeah, totally. We had that. We just never put anyone down. That was the problem, but that was the rule. But also, that's letting the referee know. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Exactly, it's fake.
Yep. Yep.
Less than 5 minutes remaining. The Kings looking to improve their record to 4-1 for the season. Galloway's been a little quiet this afternoon by his lofty standards so far this season. Adams contorts his body, contorts the basketball and scores.
Amazing hands, Brad.
Unbelievable.
He's got a smile on his face too. Oh. John Riley, on the other hand, does not have a smile on his face.
Well, and he shouldn't have either, because when you go back to that play, Usher just let Adams straight down middle street, and that's just not good enough. You can't do that, and now they go down there and turn it over when they had an opportunity at the start of this quarter to really go.
And I think when they review the game film, Jack, they're going to look at 2 phases during this game, but in particular, the first 3.5 minutes of this fourth quarter, where they had a chance to forge ahead and impact this game positively, and they just fell flat. Great hustle from Bryce Cotton.
Just never gives up. Even with the scoreline the way it is. We're going to need some points very, very quickly. That'll help. Getting Bryce Cotton some more touches as a start.
One of their pet plays, bring him off the weak side. High screen set. Poor defense, and he raises up, knocks down the three. High degree of difficulty, but he's one of the best ever. Pow.
Jonah Bolden, in his return to basketball, we were talking about him earlier, spending some time away. He's 4 games before today, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 10 and 8, 8 and 6 in the 12 and 12 on Friday night. So there's little incremental improvements every game.
And now if he knocks down this free throw, Jack, we're 11 and 14. And I would say that is far ahead of where he probably, in his most confident of dreams, thought that he would be right now.
Ty Webster tries his chances. It's 9 of 29 from outside. In fact, for both teams, it hasn't exactly been a polished shooting performance from deep.
I can tell you one team that's very happy right now, and that's the DRB Super Coach team, Derek Rucker basketball, Jack.
Here we go.
Popping off at 374 right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure my team's going as well. Galloway, who's actually in my team. Glover scores.
And that rebounding deficit continues to swell. 48 boards by the Sydney Kings to 30 for the Wildcats. 7 of 10 those offensive.
Derek, how much super points did you say?
Super Coach?
Super Coach?
Right now I'm at 374.
Is that all?
What do you have today?
Oh, not that I'm looking, but I think around
I saw
402.
I saw 4. Gee. Good job, Brad.
Felt like a loaded question from you, Brad.
No,
now we know why.
Well, can I just say thank you, Milton Doyle? Huck Porty.
94-77. This game has gone away from Perth now. Go.
One of his IT friends has hacked into the Super Coach server.
One of them, it's me. Oh, there's Jonah as well. That's 15 rebounds. Unfortunately, a turnover, but...
Well, he got it back. Galloway in full flight.
Ty Webster knows his evening is over. He'll walk over to the bench. Probably don't sit down because you got a lot of sitting down to do in a couple of hours on that flight back to Perth. May as well keep it moving while you can.
Subs for both teams.
For Gus, the Bruce, Jonah Bolden, and Alex Tui. Changing the stripe.
The Wildcats have been absolutely smacked in the rebounding department. Brad, it was something that they wanted to address in the off-season. They said they were too small and weren't aggressive enough on the boards last season. It hasn't got much better so far for them.
Well, what's more worrying is 17 offensively. Like, you know, you're going to give up rebounds in certain situations, but when you're giving up 70 and down by 18...
Ben Henschel for 3. Nice looking jumper.
You know, I had an old coach of mine, and Derek, you'd know him, Cliff Martin, played in the NBL many, many years ago. And you look at the turnovers, they only had 10, Perth. But if you're giving up 17 offensive rebounds and 10 turnovers, that's giving your opposition 27 more shots. If they make 50% of those, that's 27 points. You're just not going to win games like that.
When we look at the Sydney Kings team starting to put it together this round, Jack, and opponents need to figure out with the pace that they like to play. If Noy gets a practice shot from the corner, So Jack, as they play at this pace and they start to understand how to play with one another, how do you slow them down? How can you limit their possessions? Because today they didn't even shoot the ball well. They're only 43%, yet they're going to still rack up 100 points.
Well, I thought that third quarter zone defense was pretty good, but like you said, that's for one quarter. You still got another 30 minutes. Do you see it, Derek? What would you do?
First of all, I think you have to be more prudent with the basketball offensively. You've got to be really efficient and make sure you're scoring. I know it sounds crazy, but you're scoring as efficiently as possible. Now, the Perth didn't turn the ball over a lot, but because they got murdered on the glass, that's the problem. But if you can make Sydney work defensively and then get some up-the-court pressure, which requires hustle. You got to be able to set your defense, some trap defense, and some zone. Mix this thing up. You just can't let Jalen Adams get the ball and continually push it at you. You're at their disposal.
It's been proven over a few years because they've played the way they've played that you just can't play with it. You do have to junk it up.
And teams mistakenly try and do that. You've got to change the way you game plan and attack this team.
Kings fans on their feet at Kudos Bank Arena. Mahmoud Abdel Fattah empties the bench. Clara Samir, Jasper Rentoy, Zach Katorna all coming in for some late minutes.
It's always a fun time for the home crowd when some of these young bench players can get a bucket. I think the biggest reception would be for Rentoy. He can knock down a shot. Showed some signs in the preseason, Jack.
Yep. Local boy out of Western Sydney.
This one's just to see how loud you can get it. I like that.
And just building up the stats here. This one's well and truly over.
There's some pretty forlorn figures on that Perth bench. It's a long trip home, Ruck. When you go 0-2 for the weekend.
And, you know, a lot of times the path for the rest of the season can be affected.
Henshaw took it upstairs and Clara Samir went with him.
Excitement there. But how teams interact in these road trips after the disappointment of dropping 2. You know, it says a lot about how you develop mental toughness as a group. And the Wildcats are under the pump now.
And a timeout by Sydney. With 30 seconds remaining. So where does this leave Perth, Derek? As we say, they've gone 0-2 for the weekend. They're now 2 wins, 3 losses to start their NBL24 campaign.
The loss against Melbourne United wasn't the worst loss that I've seen a team have this year, but the fact that it was in front of the Red Army and they looked a bit disjointed, I think that would have been disappointing. And then today you look at this one, well, it's going to blow out to 15, 16, whatever it is. But it was primarily a patch during the second quarter and the fourth quarter, okay? So you got to keep things in perspective and really analyze it objectively.
So let's kick it off to do the wave on 3.
Sydney challenged that foul on Clara Samir.
Come on, let's have a bit of fun.
It is so loud inside this venue at the moment, Derek, that it's impossible to hear what Vaughn Mabry just said. There's a Mexican wave going on. It's like a party in here.
Well, we've seen it at full throttle last year during the championship series, and you know, at moments, even when we were right next to each other, we couldn't hear each other talking. The Sydney crowd definitely get into it. And why wouldn't they? They've got one of the best sporting franchises in Australia, Jack. Let's call it honestly. Yep. There are very few clubs around the country. You look at the Penrith Panthers, the Sydney Kings. I'm sure you've got an entity from the AFL for me.
There's a couple of big clubs like a Collingwood or someone like that. They're a big organisation though, the Kings, aren't they?
They went to work for you. Are you working for them?
Perennial excellence.
Another 10,000 here this afternoon.
You're able and you're with them. Are you with them, Sydney? Are you
Fans still on their feet as the final stages of this game plays out. Myron Harris still trying all the way to the end.
And he's been able to come in today and have an impact on the game and affect how things transpired there for a brief patch in the third quarter. His big liability, though, is on the offensive end and how long Coach John really can allow him to be on the court during critical offensive possessions and when the game gets tight. So it's a real trade-off, and you know, for him to increase his minutes, he's going to have to find a way to be really impactful on that end of the floor because we know the benefit he brings on the other end.
Clarence Amir, what a catch in the air. And then Gatorna. The boys from the bench getting it done. David Aquera travels. They're having some fun now, the Kings.
Now everyone, can you rise up, Sydney, for your team? Where are you?
The Kings will want that magical 100 mark here, Jack.
They throw that one away.
Let's count this thing down.
Some extended pressure.
And you look at it, nice lead pass. Excellent athleticism. And Gatorna, you love this to come in the game and be able to flush one in front of the home crowd. Rentoy, sportsmanship.
He dribbles it out. The Sydney Kings winners this afternoon over the Perth Wildcats, 99-86. 4-1 for the season. The two-time defending champions are building nicely.
Outstanding fourth quarter. They came out when it mattered, Jack. They are a professionally strengthened and emboldened team. They know what it takes as an organization, and we saw the difference in the two teams to start the fourth quarter. Sometimes it's just that simple in competition. You don't have to be at your best, but you got to be better than the other guy on the day, and that was the case here.
13-point victory for the Kings. They've got Tasmania at home next Sunday afternoon. They've got the full 7 days now to recover, recuperate, and get set for a massive, massive game here next week.
A tremendous encounter. The Tasmania Jack Jumpers dropped one last night. They'll be ready to go. We'll be ready to go, Jack. But what a great performance by the Sydney Kings this afternoon.
Brad Rosen's ready to go courtside with our Foot Locker player of the game.
Yeah, I got Jalen Adams here, Foot Locker player of the game. Jalen, that was a wow of a game. They made a run, but you guys stood still and ran that home in the fourth.
Yeah, man, it's a good team. You don't want to take anything away from them with a lot of talent. I think we buckled down on defense, did a good job of finishing possessions with rebounds, and that carried us over.
Where do you see you guys are at the season? Nice win in Brisbane, come home. Are you in sync? Are you flowing, or there's still a long way to go?
I think it's still a long way to go. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of home court, steal a couple on the road. So it was a good weekend for us, but we're right back to work on Tuesday, locking in on Tasmania Sunday.
There's a lot of noise that happens outside teams. You know, Jalen hasn't played a lot in the last 18 months or whatever. Do you listen to that? Because you look like you have not missed a step.
Nah, man, that's all y'all, man. I understand. You know, it should be some speculation. You know, that's what TV is, so I don't get mad at it, man. I just show up and play my game.
Today you got some great effort. Jordan Hunter, Jonah Bolden was great on the boards. You guys look like you're having so much fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's a great team. We all love each other, man. We really kick it off the floor. We really just enjoy being around each other. So being on the floor, seeing everybody else succeed, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, I can tell you, I know we all love watching you play. Great win today.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
It is so great to have Jalen Adams back here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And the Sydney Kings are loving having him back as well. They are winners today, 99-86 over the Perth Wildcats at Kudos Bank Arena. We are back to wrap it up on the other side of this.
MVP. Oh my goodness, Snack! You were all
let's get it is right. It's always a tough game when Perth comes to town. Those guys loaded with talent, and you guys just seem to be moving the ball around better than ever. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's just we've been really unselfish and it's helping us get easy looks. So we're going to continue to try and do that. We want field goals and assists, and we're finding ways to get that done.
100% now. Listen, at this time of the season, we got some new guys in for last season, a whole bunch of new guys. It seems like it's gelling. Are we just seeing that, or is that what it's feeling like?
I think we still got a way to go, so that's exciting. We're putting it together now, but we'll keep teething and things will look really nice in a few weeks.
Now, I don't know about you, but I've been watching this guy for a long time, several years now, and tonight, oh my goodness, man, I think all of us, we got to go one more time for the snack, for the big snack, everybody. Jordy Hunter, your hard kicker MVP. So good. Now, Jordy, I don't know where they got you going. I don't know if you're going to go over to the brewery plus kitchen or not. What do you think?
We've got some handsome young kings going to the brewery. I'll be at the members bar for those of you that want to pop through. I'll see you there.
All right, one more time. Jordy Hunter, everybody. So good to have you here. Get in here to here. Ron, get in here, man. We're done with the snack. We're loving it. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, the camera loves him. You love him, and we love him. Yo, guys, are we going to get over the brewery or what?
Man, how good is Jordy Hunter going? Unbelievable. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're back October 22nd. Against the Zealand Breakers. You've heard of them. You've heard of New Zealand Breakers. Remember
Big Sunday afternoon at Kudos Bank Arena. Big test for both the Sydney Kings and the Perth Wildcats. The Kings passed the test with flying colours, winning 99-86.
A big weekend for the Kings. They go up to Brisbane and get one and then come back and defend the home court against a rival team in the Perth Wildcats. And they must be exceptionally happy with how they progress this weekend. There's no doubt they are ready to roll.
They look good, Brad.
Yeah, they do. And tough weekend for Perth. You get Melbourne and Sydney in a double, and they lose both. They've got some good things that they can see, but there's a lot of work for them to do.
And unfortunately for Perth, as is the way here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, things don't get easier. For Sydney, we spoke about what's coming up for them next weekend. They play the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. We'll be back here next Sunday. Great way to finish off the round. Some really interesting games in amongst that one. And Melbourne United and the New Zealand Breakers on Sunday. That's a big day.
Look at those big doubles. That's awesome, those two.
We're going to have it all your way. And next week as round 4 starts on Thursday. But that'll see us out from Kudos Bank Arena. On behalf of Derek Rucker, Brad Rosen, and our team behind the scenes who are the best in the business, thanks so much for being with us in the Hungry Jacks NBL. We're back on Thursday for round 4.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.